Lately, I've noticed a number of videos about an increase in passport brothers and pickup artists in other countries. This is really just this internet culture. Someone makes a video that's popular, from whatever idea they have, even some recent event, and other creators do reaction videos to try and get more views themselves. They really just do anything just to keep their channel active. Anyhow, I have noticed an increase in this activity myself in the cities of Eastern Europe and the poorer parts of Asia. More and more of these foreign men approaching local women and trying their luck, often with the usual tactics taught by dating coaches and pick-up artists. It's almost cringing at times. I've even smirked at some of them in person as I walked past. These women aren't stupid either, they know as well, and it's really just embarrassing. I myself am not doing this video for views and subscribers. I'm doing this as an attempt to tell you the truth. These tactics don't work most of the time. They've been taught this by scamming dating coaches online, probably even given them a lot of money to learn this, and then they go off, hoping, maybe even expecting to get a local woman in bed in these countries. By chance, I recently befriended a passport bro in person, and hanged around with him for a few days in Poland. He was literally approaching women in the streets and at clubs, even girls while they were working. And wasn't very successful. Most girls rejected him, a few gave him their number, and there was some communication, but it usually ended quickly, always by the woman, and that was about it. He was a nice enough person actually, but stupid, a dullard. I even liked him, and it was fun to see him talking to these women, but his experience was just what a typical passport bro would have went through. He was also poor like the rest of them. There was a pickup artist by the name of Rush V, who wrote books and was present on the internet for a while, before turning his back on that lifestyle and becoming a born-again Christian. Most of his writings and videos have been removed off the internet now, by himself even, but some of it is still available, if you search hard enough. In one of his last books, he openly admits that most approaches will fail, most numbers you get will lead nowhere, and even going on a date will often fizzle out. The numbers are exact, but it's very bad. Perhaps 1 in every 100 approaches will lead to a date, and perhaps 1 in every few hundred approaches will lead to sex. That's insanely tedious. And, on top of that, in his last works, he openly admitted that the women he slept with were often broken and dysfunctional. He never found a good woman in the end, and after a personal crisis in his family, almost came close to suicide. I can partly attest to this myself, as I have flirted a little with this lifestyle, and often encountered broken women. Some I am certain had personality disorders, while others were just opportunists, and even some just played nasty games for the fun of it. These men going abroad for women have no idea what they're getting themselves into, and the dating coaches don't care because they're in business for themselves. That's one thing I've noticed about most of these men as well. They were all so stupid, some were even just weird. They didn't really know or understand much about women, and the world itself. Perhaps they really had a sheltered life or something, just learning off the internet, duped into what they've been told, then go off and find out the truth the hard way, the painful way even. The reality is that most of these men I met were also fairly low grade. They were just taught tricks to try and hide it, but it never works, especially in the long run. Women will always find out in due time. Women aren't stupid, they can see past it, they know what these men want, and some will play the game back. But it's never out of altruism. They have their own agenda as well, and it's not going to be the man's interest at heart. They're just not like that. You have to be a good catch yourself. Pretending to be one won't get you very far, and even then, it doesn't mean she'll love and care for you. I even walked past a girl in Krakow one night, talking to her friends, and openly admitting that she's only friendly towards guys in order to get free drinks. The reality is, and you can ask any psychologist this, is that a true connection and relationship with trust, respect, understanding, and affection is actually not the norm. A lot of it has to do with money and power, and women are no different. They have their sex to offer, and men have what they can offer too, be it money, status, lifestyle, even emotional support, or just being entertaining. Passport brothers are low-grade men. Perhaps their money can give them a slight advantage in a poor country, but their naivety and ignorance works against them, not to mention that most are actually quite poor. Pickup artists, or shall I say wannabe pickup artists, aren't much different either. It's actually hard work, draining, and you could end up like Rush V, at the brink of suicide from shallow relationships and messed up women. It's an empty life. This Passport Brothers and dating coach scene has literally turned into an industry itself, run by very suspicious characters. Their channels are dubious to say the least. Some are blatant scammers really. They're not helping anyone, just out for themselves. And picking on weak, gullible men, often lonely and desperate really, and they're just going to waste their time, money and energy, only to go home empty-handed mostly, and back to their normal, drab lives. I knew a girl once, very pretty, from a good family, not a bad person either, and I wanted her, made a fool of myself at the time actually, but I just wasn't the kind of person she would have picked anyway. She married a good man herself, he had his own business, made good money, had friends, lived life well, came from a good family too. Both working professionals when you look at it, and living a fairly respectable middle-class life, with children too. Perhaps this is a dream most people don't get to live. Maybe this is what Passport Brothers would like as well, but deep down inside, they're not the kind of man that she, or someone like her, would choose to marry. If a pickup artist approached her walking down the street, she'd be one of those girls that would just keep on walking. She'd simply know better.